The boy pushed with all his might, shoving open the door before him. His tall, imposing father looked at Baji affectionately, doting on this son who was no bigger than his finger. Once upon a time, he had single-handedly defeated an army of monsters, saved his people from the brink of destruction, and established the kingdom of Bas. Now he was gravely ill. With not much time left, he sincerely hoped Baji would grow up quickly so he could smoothly inherit the throne. He appointed the kingdom's greatest swordmaster to be Baji's mentor, but Baji was too weak. He couldn't even lift a chicken. Watching him clumsily swing his sword, the swordmaster's patience completely collapsed. After the sword master vented his frustration, the arrogant second prince, Daida, walked over, saying he wanted to spar with his brother. The sword master discovered that the second prince was exceptionally gifted. This was the disciple he had always wanted. Seeing his mentor's gaze focused solely on his brother, Baji felt a surge of resentment. He grabbed a wooden stick and accepted his brother's challenge. This duel between a fool and a genius attracted a crowd of guards. They were all curious to see how Daida would thrash Baji. The duel began immediately. Daida swung the wooden stick with full force, but Baji easily dodged it. The onlookers were astonished. Daida launched a series of attacks, but didn't land a single hit on Baji. Although Baji was deaf and mute, his other senses were exceptionally sharp, allowing him to dodge each attack. With 100% accuracy, he evaded a strike, and lightly tapped Daida's head with his stick. Low damage, but extremely insulting. Daida flew into a rage, and launched even more ferocious attacks, but still couldn't harm Baji in the slightest. Instead, he was tapped a few more times by Baji. Hidden in the shadows, Kage couldn't help but feel happy for Baji. He had finally proven he wasn't completely useless. However, the guards thought Baji's swordsmanship was cowardly, completely lacking the dignity a king should possess. Baji had endured countless discrimination since childhood, always suffering in silence, without complaint. But this time, even his mentor sided with his brother. He told Baji in sign language that this was absolutely not the swordsmanship a true king should use. He ordered him to bravely face Daida head-on. Baji looked panicked and uneasy, but he still gave up his greatest advantage, his evasion skills. Daida slammed down his wooden stick, and Baji took the blow directly. But the gap in their strength was simply too great. Baji was hit hard by Daida, then struck again, beaten until he foamed at the mouth. Baji tried desperately to counterattack, but in a direct confrontation, he had no chance of winning. Seeing this perfect opportunity for revenge, Daida struck his brother dozens of times in succession. Baji was beaten within an inch of his life, but the sword master, acting as referee, didn't stop the match. Watching Daida continue to vent his fury, Kage, hiding nearby, could no longer stand by and watch. Just as he was about to rush out to save Baji, suddenly a spear blocked Daida's path. It was Appias, one of the 4 heavenly kings. The sword master declared Daida the victor. Appias pointed his spear at the sword master, demanding to know why he hadn't intervened, but the sword master offered no explanation.